Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Queens Rise Up. You know how we do. This is Queen Rise Up Women Empowerment. What we do around here, we empower who? You, that woman, to do what? To know her worth and her value. Queen, when you get up this morning, make the devil mad that you are up. Make sure you have your foot on the jugular of his neck. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. If you're joining me today for the first time, my name is Chantel C. Ross. And this is Queen Rise Up, where we empower women to know their worth and their value. So, Queen, so that, listen, so you can walk in your boldness and your God confidence, so that you will get, you'll soar your wings, that you'll fly, that, listen to me, that you allow your colors to manifest. And this is real talk, because I believe if you empower her, she'll never go hungry again. So thank you for joining me. We meet here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are live. What you see is what you get. Good morning, Queen. Listen, we are rising up. No more selling for less. Enough is enough. Today is a new day. It's a new opportunity, but it is so up to you. But I want you to know this morning, nothing just happens. So you hear me? You got to get up. You got to rise up, and you have to go. Well, I want to thank you for joining me. Listen, when you get up in the morning, just make your declaration of decrees on who God says you are. No matter what's going on, no matter who did it, when it happened, why it happened, it does not matter. Today is the day that the Lord has made. Declare today that you will rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, nothing just happens. Life and death is in the power of your tongue. What you're thinking, what you're saying, it matters. And that is real talk. Somebody said nothing just happened. Everything starts with the thought. It really does, whether you believe it or not. What you're thinking, what you're thinking, what you're saying, and what you're projecting, it does matter. So listen, I want you to get up and declare out of your mouth this morning that I am who God says I am, that you can do what God says you can do. You are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. And Queen, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. I need you to get up this morning. Come on, because nothing just happens. Open up your mouth and declare over your life that I am. You are sitting in heavenly places. Open up your mouth and declare this morning, listen to me, everything that God says rightfully belongs to me, I'm taking it. You better get you some this morning. This is real talk. Just say it over. If I can't see your comments, it's the app. I'm not sure what's going on, but good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Sometimes I can see your comments, and sometimes I can't for whatever the reason may be. But I want to say good morning. But I want you to understand this morning, nothing just happens. Everything, first of all, starts with the thought. Number one, you can't do anything without a thought, whether it's your thought, a God thought, or a thought from the enemy. Nothing just happens. Do you hear me? So what did you think about the things that you want in life and where you want to go? You got to think about it. You write, sometimes we write them down, we make them plain, but you got, listen, nothing just happens. So I don't know where you are right now in life. Matter of fact, I want to really sit with Jeremiah chapter 1, because it has been a powerful place for me in these last few days. Because even with Jeremiah, even though God said he was called before he was in his mother's womb to be a prophet unto nations, but I found out nothing just happens. Listen, Jeremiah had a lot of doubts. He had a lot of fear. He was like, Lord, you're not calling me. Come on, not me to the stage, not me to be a prophet to a nation. I'm too young. I can't do this. Let me tell you something. But Jeremiah had to get up and he had to go, because nothing just happens. Some of you out there right now, you know God has called you, he has ordained you, he has positioned you, you know what, he has given you purpose, but nothing just happens. You need a strategy, you need plan. Come on, you need provision, you need finances. No, somebody said nothing just happens. Let me lock and load this morning. I'm going to go to Jeremiah chapter 1, and I'm going to start at verse 5, because God was calling Jeremiah to his purpose. Can I ask this question to you? Whenever God's getting ready, when he tells you to do something or something you desire to do, what does he deal with first? He doesn't deal with the thing that we're trying to do. He deals with us. He gets our mind ready. He gets our heart ready. He prepares you for where he's getting ready to take you. He show you how to come up your cause. You start dealing with your insecurities or your issues. Listen to me. Jeremiah had insecurities. They come with the territory. I'm too young. I'm too old. I can't do this. I don't have enough. I'm not in the best house. I don't have the best friends. I don't know nobody. Listen, if God says what he has for you, it's for you. He's just waiting for you to get in your position, for you to stand up to your part, for you to get up and, take the responsibility on where he's taking you, because we all come with insecurities. I don't care. some level of insecurities, or maybe fear or procrastination in your life. But God told Jeremiah, and just like he's telling us, he says, before I formed you in the womb, he said, I already knew you. He says, before you were born, he said, I set you apart. He said, I've already appointed you. What's holding you back? What's stopping you? What's intimidating you? He said, I already knew you. I've already formed you. I've already set you apart for this. But sometimes we will allow the things in our life to take us away from focusing on who and what God has already said concerning you. He said, listen, he said, I formed you before you was in your mother's womb. Listen, and then Jeremiah came back and he said, but Lord, I'm just too young. God said, don't say that, because life and death is in the power of your tongue. Declare out of your mouth that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Declare this morning, listen, you are the head and not the tail. Declare and decree over your life this morning that, listen, what's impossible with God, impossible with me, is possible with God. God can answer any impossibility. So today, this morning, if I was to ask you, what's stopping you? What's holding you back from pursuing, from making that change or that turnaround, or pursuing? What got you? What is it in your life that's holding you up? Because not only did God tell him to get up, he said, Jeremiah, I want you to get up and I need you to go. Because nothing just happens. It's one thing to get up, because we can get hyped up. But what about when it's time to execute? We can get hyped up, listen to me, but when it's time to go, do you stop when the going gets tough? Or do you still keep striving even when it gets tough? When your battles get high and get hard, do you fight or do you retreat? And this is real talk. You got to get up and go. Sometimes when the going gets tough, we take a pause, we take a break. But this one in 2024, don't stop. Don't quit. Keep going. Keep pressing. Keep fighting. Even though you may feel intimidation, you may feel levels of fear, frustration, keep going. Listen to me. God says, what I have for you is for you. But you got to keep going. Don't let the things that you experience in life take you out of what God has already promised you. And this is real talk this morning, Queens, because I don't know about you, but I want everything that God rightfully has for me. Declare over your life, everything that God has for me, I want it. But you got to be willing. You got to be willing to deal with the real deal. You got to be willing to deal with the real issues. You got to be willing to willing to go up against, with everything that want to come up against you. Don't be afraid of it. Good morning, Mary Jane. Mary Jane, nothing just happened, Queen. And that's real talk. Nothing just happens. There ain't no hocus pocus, turn around 3 times. He told Jeremiah, get up and go. He says Jeremiah was like, get somebody else to do it. Jeremiah said, get somebody else to do it. I'm too young. That ain't for me. You're not calling me to be the prophets to nations. The people you want me to speak to is older than me. He said, no, before you was in your mother's womb, I've already chose you. I already appointed you. I'm just waiting for you to get up and go. Come on, to get to the destination that's already been set for you, that's already been prophesied concerning you. And this is real talk, but sometimes we don't go because we are intimidated, or we start and then we stop. No, this time go all the way. This time go across the threshold. This time, listen to me, complete that thing. I tell my daughter all the time, just finish it. Whatever that is, finish it. It might be tough, but finish it. It could be real small, but finish it, because what that thing you need to finish, God is using to prepare you for greater and higher heights. But if you can't finish nothing, how you going to get to the destination? That means you'll never get to the destination. You will start out, but then you will stop. You will start out, but then you will stop. Listen, purpose is waiting on you. Destiny is waiting on you. The assignment is waiting on you. What happens is we get intimidated. This happens, Queen. you know what? Everything happens for a reason, and God is already planned. Queen is already planned, and sometimes He's just waiting on us to get in our rightful positions, get our minds right. At the end of the day, sometimes count up the cost. See what the things is in life that you need to really deal with. Because I found out that Jeremiah had to deal with his fear. He had to deal with his frustration. He had to deal with the fact that he got to look the people in their faces. Come on, listen to me. He said, Lord, and God told him, don't be afraid of their faces. In other words, say what I say, go say what I said, go where I tell you to go. He said, but you're gonna but Jeremiah had to prepare himself. He had to get his mind ready. Listen, he had to get his mind ready. I don't know where you're going, what God has in store for you. Is your mind set on where God is taking you? And are you making the provisions needed to get to the destination? When you get ready to pack and get ready to fly, you prepare your bags, you get them ready for takeoff. But before you go, you got to go to checkpoint. You got to go to your checkpoints and then get on the plane. Matter of fact, before you even can get to your destination, you got to make the reservation. And so making the reservation and having some expectation. But I'm going to tell you today, nothing just happens. And I don't care whatever you're building, striving for, dreaming for, hoping for, nothing just happens. And this is real talk because we can have a whole lot of ideas, a whole lot of, you know how we do. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I want this and I want that. I'm going here. I'm going there. But baby, have you packed your bags? Listen to me. Are you traveling? Listen to me. Have you even made the reservation for the destination that you're trying to get to? Many of us, because sometimes we'll start out strong, Mary Jane, and then we don't finish the race. He told Jeremiah, I need you to get up and I need you to go. I need you to get up. I need you to go. And what I love about this, I'm gonna jump back down to 17 because I was over here on Monday. He says, get yourself ready. This is Jeremiah chapter 1. He said, get yourself ready. He said, stand up and say to them whatever I command you, because understand God was preparing Jeremiah to be the prophet. He says, whatever I command you to say it. He said, don't be afraid of them. I don't know, don't be afraid of them. He said, or I will terrify you before them. I was like, hold up, God, wait a minute. He said, if you don't do what I tell you to do, he says, I'm going to terrify you before them. He says, today I have made you a fortified city, an iron pillar, a bronze wall. He says, stand against the whole land, against the kings of Judah. It is official. It's priests and the people of the land, that they will fight against you whenever you get, he said, they will fight against you, but will not overcome you. So in other words, when God is telling you and positioning you to do what he has already ordained you to do, he said, there's going to be some intimidation that's going to come with it, but it won't overtake you. He said, the battle doesn't belong to you. It belongs to me. He says, listen, I'll get you through it. I got you. He said, so where are you going this morning, Queen? I don't know. Where, if I was just ask, Lord, where is he taking you? What has he shown you? What have he spoken to your spirit or your mind concerning you? He said, listen, show up, get up, show up. Don't be afraid. And whatever it is I put in your hand to do, do it. Now you're walking by faith and not by sight. Because I'm going to tell you, you got to get up, stand up, because nothing just happens. Now, if you would just take a glimpse of your life, your life, what is the thing that you started and then you stopped? Finish it. What is that thing in your life that God already said rightfully belongs to you? Get up, stand up. What is challenging you the most, whether it's internal or external? Be honest about it. What's challenging you? What's intimidating you? What has you full of fear, anxiety? That very thing that you are afraid of, go for it. That very thing that's stopping you from getting to your destination. Maybe it's just you being obedient, because Jeremiah had to be obedient even while afraid. This time, 2024, don't stop. Don't quit. Not only does nothing just happen, nobody owes you anything. You owe it to yourself to keep going. You owe it to yourself to keep striving. You owe it to yourself to do something new. You owe it to yourself to get up and start over again. You owe it to yourself to take care of you. You owe it to yourself to discover your worth and your value. Nothing just happens. Listen to me, Queens. You owe it to yourself to stand up, to get up and go. You owe it to yourself. This is not to prove anything to anybody. This is so that God can get the glory out of your life. But you owe it to yourself, Queen, to get up, to run the race, to stay in the lane, to keep going, keep striving, keep fighting, keep pushing, keep pressing. What you want is on the other side of that thing. What you desire is on the other side. Listen, I need you to get up. Because nothing just happens. Healing, you got to want it. Nothing just happens. Deliverance, you got to want it. Nothing just happens. You owe it to yourself, Queen. So take that thing in life that's stopping you from getting to your destination. I just coached one of the queens, and my words was, just do it. But in order to just do it, she had to look at her fears, her procrastination. She had to go in deep. But if she want what she want on the other side, she had to just do it. And honey, she did it. You hear me? She did it. Sometimes you gotta just do it. Woo! And she's been going off ever since. Because what she wants is on the other side of that thing that is trying to stop her from getting there. That person you don't want to talk to, you're gonna have to. Because what you need is on the other side of that conversation. Sometimes the places you need to go but don't want to go is right over. Come on. What you need is right on the other side. Nothing just happens. Because if you do nothing, you get nothing. If you allow life to stop you, listen, if you don't do nothing, you get nothing. Woo! And some of you are going to have to fight for it, but God says, listen, I am with you, and I will never leave you nor forsake you. I'll be with you always to the end of the earth. Nothing just happens. When you need to make a decision that requires you to be obedient, you got to make a choice. You got to decide. Because nothing just happens. I need you to get up this morning. I'm locking and loaded from Jeremiah 1, where he told Jeremiah, like, I'm too young for this. I can't do this. That's what God was after, that I can't. Oh, yes, you can. You are more than a conqueror, Queen. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. You have wings as an eagle. You have legs like a gazelle. You have hind feet. Your mind, he said, let this mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus. Know what you're working with. Not in your own strength, not in your own ability, not in your own nasty attitude. Oops, excuse me. Listen. You got this. And you're getting up. It's in your spiritual realm. I'm telling you. Because because I'm telling you, if we allow what's before us to be our determination or our determination or our reasoning, he said, listen, you got to come up in the spiritual realm. China, you got to come up in the spiritual realm. Queen, you got to come up. Start thinking differently. And individuals that thinks differently becomes, I won't use the word intimidating, but those who, when you start thinking above the circumstances, you'll become a challenge to others. You'll become a challenge to others. They'll think that you know everything. It's not that you know everything. You just decide that you wasn't going to stay there. You get ready to level up. And so when you're leveling up, it's going to be on your spirit, man, on how you think. Because I'm going to tell you today, nothing just happens. Good morning, China. Listen, what is that thing in life that has you afraid or timid or feeling inferior to it? Because nothing, Queen, nothing just happens. Good morning. It's like life is full of choices. It's choices. 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 You're going to choose to get up, or you're going to choose to stay down. You're going to choose to stand up, or you're going to choose to sit down. But you have to make a choice. You're going to live or you're going to die. You got to make a choice. Because nothing just happens. When you got out of that bed this morning, you had to decide whether you was going to get up or stay in it. When the alarm went off, you're going to turn it off or turn it on. You're going to let it go or let it go. Because nothing just happens, queens. Rising up takes work. Rising up, you got to go against it, like fear, intimidation that comes with the territory. Because rising up is one thing, but going is another. How many of you are up in this room? I'm up. Up. But have you taken off? Do you have a plan? Do you have a strategy? Because we can get a whole lot of ideas and plans and dreams and vision, but no strategy. 2016, Queen, I did a vision board in 2016. And in that 2016, I was in the middle of a separation. I was in another state. My daughter was in a different state. And I had my youngest son with me. But in that moment, I could have took where I was and counted life out. But I still kept writing down because God had a plan before the separation on my life. But if you look at what you're in and not see beyond or what God has in store for you, it's hard to write a vision when you're looking at calamity. He says, before you was in your mother's womb, I have already chosen you. I knew you. Hello, Jackie. I knew you before the divorce. I knew you before the separation. I knew you before you was going to separate the children was going to be separated. I knew you. Excuse me. I knew you before you got to the places you met in your life. I knew you before then. He says, and he said, I already set you apart. You said, love. Oh, all right, Jack. You said you're remodeling your home. All right, Queen. Take your time and enjoy your journey, honey. I know. Congratulations, Queen. Enjoy. I already know. Been there. Already been there. But really, real talk. Nothing just happens. Before you was in your mother's womb. Already. So you can't allow where you are to stop you from where God is taking you. You say you are not forgotten. I had to get up this year. You must be better. Come on, Queen. Somebody say, got to be better. Don't start nothing, Jackie. Listen, by all means necessary. You hear me? This year. All right, come on, new person, new kingdom. Let me have a sip. Don't start nothing, Jackie. Girl, listen, Jackie, you done got up and went. Queen, listen to me. I'm up, not Queen, I'm up. I'm up, and now I'm going, and now I'm executing. Come on, listen to me. This year will be better than last year. Let me have a sip. But you know what he said, Jackie? He said in Jeremiah, he told Jeremiah, when you get up and you go, he said, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Come on, you better get up. Come on, come on. You got to be better. China, you got to be better. You hear me? Real talk. Why would you keep repeating the same places, doing the same thing, knowing that you're going to get the same results? Come on, you got to change some things up. You got to do some things differently. Come on, 2024. Don't start nothing this morning, Jackie. I was over here minding my business. But real talk, he said, listen, even when you begin to start to excel, he says, listen, he says, don't be scared. Don't be terrified, because the enemy is going to try to intimidate you. He says, no, he says, but I'm with you. He said, you better, you said every year, Queen, it got to get better. Let me have a sip this morning, Jackie. And then I say this, Jackie, if it's not getting better, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. If it's not getting better, find out what's going on within and deal with it. If it's not getting better, what choices are you making that is not causing change to happen? You find yourself in the same rut. There's something bigger on the inward, something big going, something bigger than yourself. A lot of times it's happening, but you got to be able to address them. Jackie, you gonna come over here and start something this morning, Queen, but real talk, it should get better. Every day is in our spirit, so listen, you are a new man, new creature every day. Do you hear me? But think about this. I want to use small things to get to greater principle, to use as a principle, because God said, get up, stand up, go. I command you today. I'm with you. Don't be afraid. You're going to be like a pillar. You're going to stand strong. You're flat-footed, even if things come up against you. But I have a question for you, Queens. This is real talk. And Jackie, I appreciate you this morning. What are those small things in your life? I'm using small things. I'm not even going big. I'm talking about those small little imps in your life, those small little things that is stopping you from moving to the next level. Let's go small. I'm not even dealing with rejection or oppression. But what are those simple things in life that you know you need to do that you haven't done, or that you started and you didn't finish? Because you're going to take Jeremiah 1, not just over trying to get mantles on your life. I'm talking about your everyday life. How was your habits? How was your character? Really talk. How do you handle your finances? How do you handle your environment? Let's use the small things. And this is real talk. I give you a prime example. I do second shift. I know I have to be to work at 2:30, but I'm gonna tell you this: I get to work at least 2:31. I'm always behind the 8 ball. So I'll be trying to be intentional about being on time. Can I just help somebody today? And we're going to use those small little things in our life that God will use to get you the bigger ground. So being on time, even though I have a 5-minute window, but why? Girl, can you be 5 minutes before the mark? Can you get there at 2:25? So that means something has to change in order to get there at 2:25. So I can be in at 2:30, not 2:31. And I'm talking about the small little things, come on, that's hindering you and holding you up. The things that you are aware of, come on, you got to get up, stand up. the things that you are aware of. How can you change this to accomplish that? I'm talking about the small things, because we can look at the big things. We can do that. Don't know. What about the little things? What can you change to get you to the destination a lot more efficiently? Listen, you said the old flesh wanted to die, the spirit came that we have everlasting life. And he did. But once you get the new life, he wants you to live in the new life, the new thinking. Listen, come on, sometimes we do get comfortable with settling. If destiny is waiting on you, purpose is waiting on you, woo, what are you doing to get to it? What are you doing? What is that you need to change? And I believe in my mind, because I know I have this 5-minute leeway. I can use that little 5 minutes. But how about if I change the way that I'm thinking? I need to be 10 minutes early so I can be. Real talk. But what do I have to do to meet that mark? And like anything else in your life, you want to build something, you count your costs. We want to be great on the outside, be great in the inside. Because nothing just happened, queens. But you can't quit along the way. No, we're not settling. 2024, don't you settle. Don't settle. Keep going. Keep pushing. Listen, because nothing just happens. I don't know about you, but for the majority of the things that I have obtained and have to obtain, Queens, there's a fight for it. Did you? There's a fight. There's a wrestling. There is warfare. But I'm not settling. My mind is made up that I'm going to win this one. No, the battle's already won. Listen, but I can tell you that God is a force to reckon with, and that he is. Listen to me, real talk. And so when he calls you to purpose, God will move us out of our own way. He will get our attention every time, Jackie. Listen. You said you've been in prison and jail, arrested by the Holy Ghost, and surrender all. And I surrender all. Woo! But nothing just happens, queens. And don't let the enemy intimidate you. What God has for you, it is for you. Before you was in your mother's womb, God already knew you. But it is up to you. Are you going to get up and stand up and go? This is once you come into the kingdom of God, God fights all the battles. He does. But honey, some of these battles be so intense, queen. They be so intense. And whoa, listen, they be so intense. You hear me? You got to know that the battle doesn't belong to you, that it belongs to God. I'm going to have a sip. You can't be intimidated or afraid. Listen, Queen, you better know that he didn't give you the spirit of fear, but that of love and power and that of a sound mind. You got to know, listen to me. Matter of fact, he told Jeremiah, can I just do this morning? You got to know. He says, listen, he says, today I have made you a fortified city. He says, I have made you an iron pillar. I have made you like a bronze wall to stand against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, the officials, the priests, the people of the land. Listen to me. He said, I have fortified you to stand against powers, principalities, rulers, wicked things in high places. Don't stop. No, it won't be. Now, come on, Jeremiah. Are you in the room? Listen to me, real talk. Before you were formed, I already knew you. He said, I've already called you. I've already ordained you. I've already destined you. He says, listen, get up, stand up, and don't be afraid. Whatever I says, wherever I say go, go. Whatever I said, whatever I say it. He said, listen, you are strong. You are a pillar. Come on, don't start nothing, Queen. And don't let whatever it is to intimidate you. He said, listen, they're going to fight against you. He said, but they won't overcome you. They're going to fight against you, but they will not overcome you. Can I encourage somebody this morning? And I don't know what it is and who it is. And you know what? They will fight against you. He said, but you will not, they will not overcome you. I need you to get up this morning. They will not overcome you. Do you hear me? I don't care if it's the power, the principalities, the rulers, wicked things in high places. They're going to fight against you, but they will not overcome you. He said, listen, because I am with you and I will rescue you. I got to get up out of here. I'm getting ready to go do 30 minutes of self-love. But let me tell you this morning, I don't know what it is because nothing just happens. You're going to have to get up. You're going to have to go. Come on, listen to me. Don't trick yourself. Don't let your words trick you out of what God has in store for you. Queen Real Talk, he says, listen. Woo! Look. Oh, they're going to fight. They're going to fight against you. But the weapons of our warfare, queens, they are not carnal. It is mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. Woo! I need you to get up. Even in a fight, nothing just happens. Queen, real talk, you hear me? I'll be back over here Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time live. I'm getting ready to go do 30 minutes of self-love over on TikTok. Where we walk it out, we exercise. I'm going to try to share it over here on Facebook if I remember on Facebook, because I think you can share the lives from TikTok to Facebook. But we're going to work out for 30 minutes. But I am really realizing as life keep going and we get ready to stand up, not strong in our spirit, but also strong in our bodies. He said, I pray that you be in good health even as your soul prosper. He said, the truth is, come on, you know what? Real talk, when we read it, you know what? Go back over Jeremiah 1, Queen. Now, you know, we got Jeremiah 29 and 11. You know how we always quote in that scripture, I knew you before you was in your mother's womb. But check out Jeremiah. This is when Jeremiah was being called into the place of the office of a prophet. And he was afraid. And a lot of times when God is calling us into what he has already ordained us to be, fear comes, intimidation comes. We're afraid to go. We're afraid to stand up. He said, listen, real talk. God starts showing you things. Jeremiah starts seeing things. And then Jeremiah had to interpret what it is that he would see. Some of you have seen some things that God is showing you, but you're afraid to interpret it. How many of you, come on, God has called you, you be like, get somebody else to do it. You see yourself, you ain't called me to do that. You want me to say what? Get somebody else to do it. God said, no, I called you. I've chosen you to do it. You to do it. What's stopping you? And sometimes in life, it just be them small little foxes that destroys the vine to stop you from getting to your destination. Queens, I need you to get up this morning. 2024 somebody say 2024 got to be different. And this is real talk. Nothing just happens. Listen. Guys, meet me over on TikTok for 30 minutes. I'm going to be on time. I said I'm going to be on time. Satan. It says Satan knows joy is powerful. Queen, he try to keep us weary. I'm telling you, because sometimes he can't get you right away. So he just keep tapping on you, just tapping, tap. Tap, tap, tap until you finally weaken, until you finally break down. Tap, 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 tap. That's why you gotta say strong, sober-minded, diligent, diligent, and vigilant in the mind, sound in the mind, because he's always looking for a way to kill from you, to kill, to steal, and destroy. Listen, you gotta stay vigilant. You gotta stay sound. You too, Queen. Love you, China. You got it, Queen. Have an amazing day. Well, I'm getting ready to go through 30 minutes of self-love, Queen. And China, if you haven't already, make sure you check out the Live Good. I really want you on my team. Get your membership. Start taking care of. We knocking into our spiritual health, but also into your physical health as well. Making sure you get your supplements that you need, because I'm gonna tell you, spiritual warfare. The fight ain't no. This is not for the weak. I'm gonna tell you right now. This is not for the weak. Mm-mm. Spiritual warfare doesn't just do something in the spiritual realm, but it also, man, this. Woo! Even though we're wrestling maybe in the spiritual realm, but the total man the total man is affected mentally, even though we're spiritually. Spiritual warfare can mess with your emotions. Spiritual warfare can mess around, have your heart palpitating. Don't start now. You got to take care of the total man. Did you hear me? Take care of all of you. The three-part being of you. Standing up into mantles and mandates. Listen. Real talk. He comes to Generation Shackies to get us. And he does. Guys, I love you. I will see you back here on Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen, real talk. You got to have balance. Matter of fact, Proverbs? He talked about balance and imbalances. But I don't know about you, and this is real talk. Can I just say this? Whenever there is a level of spiritual warfare, being called into your purpose or your mandate, and it sounds good, but it don't feel good. It sounds good, but it don't feel good. Spiritual warfare is uncomfortable. Spiritual warfare will challenge your whole being. Spiritual warfare make you sometimes feel like, look, am I in or am I out? Listen, I'm telling you real talk. This is why you have to have your mind renewed, and the word of God really being the way of escape. The word of God has to be your weapon. Woo! You can't do this in your own strength, but you got to have a will to want to do it according to the will of God. Listen, guys, I got to get up out of here. Jackie, you know what? The world is the world, honey. You know what it is. The world is what it is. Do you hear me? And every day it grows grosser and grosser. It's what we gonna do. The world is doing what it's supposed to do. We just got to do what we've been called, chosen, ordained to do before we was in our mother's womb. Do you hear me? That war so gross, Queen, it'll get you distracted in a blink of an eye. It'll have you so caught up, you should be doing something else to have you caught up sometimes you get so caught up in the world Stay focused on what we've been destined, purposed, and called to do before we was in our mother's womb. Real talk, I got to get up out of here, but I want to remind you today, Queen, nothing just happens. And that's real talk. Even what's going on in the world, it ain't just happening. Something. Let me have a sip. I can't be forward with you, Queen. Y'all know that I love you. Be blessed. I got 10 minutes. Let's go get it together. But 30 minutes of self-love. Spiritual man Jeremiah, get in it. Jeremiah chapter 1. I'm telling you, it's really so much in there. I'm just grabbing some nuggets this morning to lock and load with. But go get it for yourself. And ask God before you read, Lord, where are you calling me to? What is it that what you have ordained for me? What is it that you have purpose for me? Where have you chosen me to be? Because Jeremiah 1:11 was preparing him to be the prophet. God, what are you prepared? What are you preparing me for? What am I prepared to do? Where are you taking me? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to say? Ask him. Because, honey, nothing just happens. I got to get up out of here. Know that I love you. You hear me? Woo! And you might not even want to hear what he got to say, Jackie. Get somebody else to do it. You ain't. You're going to have to say, yes. Jeremiah said, okay. And God touched his lips. Nothing just happens, queens. Yes, Lord. And God touched Jeremiah's lips. No, he didn't live. Emotions will get you killed, Jackie. Don't start. No, emotions will get you jacked up. Emotions will keep you bankrupt. Your emotions will keep you emotionally jacked up. Your emotions will mess around and keep you isolated. Your emotions will have you repeating the same cycles over and over and over again. Your emotions. Woo! Listen. I got to get up out, Jack. I can't fool with you, girl. I got 7 minutes to get on my mark, get ready, get set, and go. But know that I love you, queens. I'll see you on the other side. I will share, and we can go live in the next 7 minutes. Know that I love you. Be blessed. No false delusions, queens. And make sure, guys, tap that screen, get your membership with Live Good, and let's go. We got things to do and places to go and be healthy while doing it at the end of the day. I'll see you Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time live right here. I got to go. Know that I love you.